did refresh. That doesn't matter every time I say this because the people who can't see me anyways, they can't
Yeah,
see this message.
I never understood why
So,
people did that.
I don't know. Jump up and down if you're not here. Um, yeah, we're live. Let me know if Brian's too loud or too soft. I was adjusting noise stuff my last build stream with the music, so that affects Brian.
Yes, hopefully my mic is properly positioned and you guys can hear me okay, and it's not too quiet or too loud.
Brian is too. I agree. Brian is too beautiful.
Yeah, see, I turned my light off. That way, you guys could have a bit more of a mysterious effect. So that way, I'd look more attractive to you.
Okay, well,
I did that just for you, Andrew. Just for you.
Nathan, one of the kings of typing sounds, says we sound good. So you guys are pretty Gucci then.
Yeah, mood lighting. There you go.
Pretty Gucci. Let's hit that intro and get into it. We got some cool things, a lot of news for you guys today. No guest today, but you know what? The show will go on because awesome things will still happen. So hit that intro. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to Top Clock. Today is the 10th of this month, which this month is May. It is May. It's the 10th of May. How are you doing this week, Brian?
I'm doing good. Doing good. I have a lot of keyboard work to do.
Yeah, so do I.
A lot of keyboard work to do, and I really need to do it. So, in typical Quakems fashion, I will put it off for longer. Frame drops? You're a liar, Adam. Stream is fine.
How about we do the good old mail call?
Heck yes.
Heck yeah. What did you get in the mail today? Or this week?
I think I only got one thing, and it was from you, because, you know, we buy in bulk and shit. So, I got some retooled blacks. Got some a couple cherry mega blacks, which with that I don't know, 350 gram spring or whatever it is.
Yep.
Also got some springs, 63.5 and 55 gram respectively, gold, and those will be going into the retooled blacks.
Hold on, the GIF is messing things up again, supposedly.
I don't know, really?
Yeah. Zeal logo's too large. Huh.
I thought we fixed that.
Yeah, that was fixed last time.
I'm gonna watch for it to loop around again and see if it does something.
Right. Actually, if it is,
It is. It totally is.
Let me fix it right now while you talk about why the mail you got is so awesome. I think I know how to fix. I know how to fix. I'm smart.
Okay. It's just weird that we didn't have that issue last time. But yeah, Zeal's sponsorship GIF is just too darn powerful, apparently. Some people are saying it's good for them. What is going on? I definitely saw it freeze when it looped. Yeah, I just did it again.
How about if I do... No, where is it?
Yeah, why sponsorship gifts? Why? It freezes for me, says Fizkey. Okay, yeah. I've seen it. I've definitely seen it freeze and clip a little bit.
I'm waiting for it to go around now. Oh, it looks, it's fine for me now. It's fine for me now. We can watch my you can't see this. It's fine for me now. Seems good now. I fixed it, guys. I'm awesome. I know. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I found the issue. The issue was, so I recently shared it with Brian, for reasons. So it was actually reading off our Dropbox folder. So there's an extra delay of it, like reaching out to the internet and being like, "Hey, give it to me constantly." Dropbox and probably like that. Oh, it just froze for me again. Okay, maybe it's not that. I don't know. Maybe there's something else at play here. I'll figure that out, but if it keeps happening and gets worse, I will disable it and I will solve it before the next stream. We'll find out.
Zeal pick. Why? Why?
Zeal, your logo is just too HD for us.
Is that what? Is it just like 8 billion frames or something? Is it like 8 billion K instead of like just 4K? Anyways, that's fine. We'll figure that out later.
I got some mail this week.
What did you get, Huey?
Well, I got a on the cheap. I got this carbon fiber plate for like $40 shipped. Pretty happy about that. Not too bad for a plate price. It's not super Swiss cheesy, which is fine with me. Swiss shop compatible.
Standard bottom row.
Yeah. So they're actually not locked into standard bottom row. This is something new. Supports windkeyless bottom row.
Oh, does it?
It just doesn't support the other weird stuff.
Oh, I see.
It's like it only supports standard and windkeyless and nothing else, which is like, oof. Also in the news, something coming up that you guys will see is I got the PCB for the DO60. I will send this by Doyu Studio. They also sent me, well, this is a while ago, a Chewy 60 to review. So now that I have the PCB, which they figured out to send me the first time, I can build it up, and I too can experience the ridiculousness that is split spacebars. Particularly split 3U spacebars, which I need to buy because no one just has 3U spacebars lying around apparently. So I guess I might do a double review and also review XDA, because it'll have to be an XDA.
I think we might need to take out the GIF for now.
Yeah, I will kill the GIF for now. I do have the 3U stabs, surprisingly. Those are sent with me, so that's gonna be fine. What else did I get in the mail?
Wait, did you say 3U stabs?
Yeah, because the 3U spacebars require 3U stabs, so
it doesn't use a 2U stab.
No, it's a 3U keycap. How would it use a 2U?
I don't know. A 2.75.
That's true. But no, it uses its own 3U stab.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. I was looking at the wires and like, these wires aren't right.
These wires are big.
Unrelated. Also got some weeb stuff, but yeah, that's all I got for the mail today and this week.
I am so HD. I'm also in the dark. 4K webcam in the dark.
Yeah.
Because I'm literally because I'm too lazy to turn the light on.
Interesting thing about this plate, I'll talk about it more when I do the build stream. Probably do the build stream tomorrow. Forced split backspace. B-dubs. Brass plate, acrylic ring, aluminum ring, and acrylic bottom. So keep that in mind, everyone. And USB-C.
It's going to make for an interesting sound test, I think.
Hell yeah, but...
Do you know what switches you're going to be using yet?
No, I'll find that out tomorrow.
Alright. Well, let's move into the news. How about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy things happening in the news. Let's move on to our little news viewerino here, and let's see if the Zeal GIF makes everything slow. All those bits just falling in out of nowhere. I'm waiting to see this Zeal GIF, see if it ruins it again. Yes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to loop too.
The answer is yes.
Really?
But
why is that happening?
I don't know. But there's a lot of questions in the world, and where you have a lot of questions, you have a mystery, which brings us to our first topic, the interest check for DSA Mystery, currently on Kono.store. Proxied by Z Frontier. Actually, this is by Z Frontier. Kono is going to be the US proxy. Man, I'm really liking those pixel keycaps. But something really interesting about this: air dye sublimation. Instead of using reverse dye subs for those PBT keycaps with the lighter legends, they're using air dye sub, which is what they're saying.
Huh. I wonder do they give an example of how air dye sub works and how you're able to achieve?
I asked Jeremy J. Bodson in our Discord, and he's like, I have no clue what happens there. So I have no clue yet. But hopefully we can get some some answers. Andrew, who is of Input Club in chat, is saying it's very similar to reverse die sub. So,
Okay.
it looks good. It's pretty crisp. I remember seeing the reverse die sub for that train set KBD fans ran. It was all right, not the crispest. These look a bit nicer for reverse die subs. So these are PBT die subs. Very, very pleasant colors, to be honest. Very, very whimsy. What do you think, Brian?
I like the colors, but I'm trying to figure out the theme. Like, what's the purpose? There's like a Pushi novelty.
Yeah,
and,
dude,
like,
Pushi novelty.
like,
That's like the best
there's,
reason
like,
to buy it.
There's like a crown. There's like an egg with some stars in it. Like, is this supposed to be just like a super random set, or does it actually have like, is the mystery theme actually themed around something?
Maybe the theme is you need to figure out what the theme is. next level. But compatibility wise, there's quite a few kits. Even 2 Mac kits for those who are really split between having OSX text icons or text mods or icon mods. We got WinKeyless 1800 support, 40% support, more WinKeyless 1800 support, or is it listed twice? 660, 980 support. Got some Astro signs, some Manila supports, ISO. So there's a cool amount of things.
Yeah, there definitely is. I'm trying to find if this supports a split backspace, because amongst all these caps, I cannot find a 1.5 view backspace that is mod colored. Which is odd to have so many caps and forget something that's so fundamental nowadays in the community.
It's not there. There's an alpha colored one for the Manila too.
Yeah, it looks like 2 alpha colored ones, but who does that?
But that's a bit unfortunate of a miss. But I actually like how lighthearted the colors are, and
yeah, the colors look fine.
I honestly, if I got this, I'd just get the base and the pixels. I don't think I'd get much compatibility with this, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh well. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice looking set either way. The theme confuses me, but I like the little Pushi cap. That's cute.
So, on the other side of themes that aren't confusing, this theme should be just straight in your face, which is your next news topic. GMK Burgundy, which only has one theme, the color burgundy. This is round 2. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Man, like there's so many sets going on right now. But this is a pretty good one.
Yeah, Burgundy is actually one of those sets where when I saw the render, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. And then I saw it in person, and I was like, holy shit, I need to own that. Like, it is truly awesome in person. I think the colors are very, very rich and vibrant.
Yeah, I kind of want to get one. TBD.
Me too.
BD.
I like the little wine novelty for the Row 1 Escape there as well. I'm not really a wine drinker, but I think it looks pretty nice.
But you know what's the most important crazy thing about this round 2? You can get the Hangul alphas.
Okay, yeah, I noticed that as well.
Let's talk about that.
Well,
Hangul alphas.
Is
it gonna be the new the new Japanese hiragana subs?
Have we seen GMK key sets yet with Hangul?
No, not that I know of. Maybe,
not that I know of
not.
either. So this actually might be. It's possible that it's the first, which would be kind of interesting. I think it's cool.
Are all the Koreaboos in the community going to start coming out full force?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's also interesting is I'm assuming this isn't a proxy. This is actually being ran by TX Keyboards, which is Korean. So, not terribly unsurprising there. But I think it looks good, and it's always nice to have options. We've seen so many of the Japanese Sub-Legend sets lately that it's kind of nice to have a little bit more diversity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that we've flooded the market with hiragana. So it looks like the base kit itself is going to be $149. I would tell you the price of the other things, but they are updating now. It just takes forever. The Korean alphas themselves is $50. It's a different kit. You can get icon modifiers for $75. So definitely not the cheapest GMK set in the world, but it's not terribly expensive either. It's a little bit par for the course right now because of the
I mean, if they're doing
the
new
exchange
molds,
rate.
if they're doing new molds as well, then
Yep.
kind of makes sense. But hey, you know what? Oof, I think I might have to go on a base set. What do you think, Brian? Is this a set that do you have a Burgundy set yet?
No.
No.
It's on my list. There's 3 GMK sets I really want right now that I don't have. And,
Yeah.
this is one of them. Burgundy, Kekon Dolch, and
Ooh, yeah, you missed out.
Hyperfuse Redux.
You definitely missed out on
I'm a freak.
Kekon Dolch. I think that one went under the radar for everyone. I hope this one doesn't go under the radar though, because yeah, I was the same way. Renders Burgundy was meh. See it IRL or see it in nice pics. Oof. And when I missed out on Burgundy, that's literally the reason I got Red Samurai.
Oh, did you get Red Samurai?
I did get Red Samurai.
Red Samurai is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so there are proxies available for this if you're in China. Z Frontier, the big beast in the east, is handling that. If you're in Europe, Candy Keys will be taking care of you there. And interestingly enough, TX Keyboards is like a Korean-based company, but it's actually their U.S. site. So Korea actually has a different proxy here. Korea, Asia, Canada will be basically through KBD Labs, a Google form for any other country. So that's kind of interesting. The group buy opened 4 days ago. It closes on the 5th of next month, so you got a little under a month left. And they have a little timeline, which is 14 to 16 weeks of production, which is probably about right now. So estimated October 2018, you will get your set. So about 5 months from now. It's about par for the course. Now that so many sets are running, GMK's schedule is slowly being pushed back, as to be expected.
Definitely. Well, check it out if you haven't had a chance. Speaking of things that, in my opinion, are a bit unexpected, though, moving on to our next topic, out of the keycaps news into the keyboard news, there's a little teaser that Justin of Tex Design posted. That's crazy-looking layout for the Tex Kodachi. It's a 7-row mechanical keyboard case with a track point, as Tex Keyboard is famously known for their Yoda and Yoda 2. So that's the layout. They did post this photo Flickr link, which in my opinion is total BS, because there's no actual picture of the full keyboard.
Just about to say that. How do you make an album with this many pictures?
Everyone in stream just watch me just go through these pictures and what? Let me see it, please. Let me see. Cool, it's USB-C, has screw and feet, whatever. Those keycaps look pretty nifty. I don't care about that soldier in the peanuts. I want to see the whole keyboard.
Yeah, how do you not post a picture of the keyboard, but you post a picture of a plastic RB figure inside a peanut shell, looking at the track point?
Yeah.
This is a pretty monumental fail.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of start to put together how parts of the keyboard look based on some of these pictures, but we gotta have at least one overhead view, man. Are you that unhappy with the keyboard that you can't show off the full thing?
So let's go back to the layout then, because at least we can work with the layout. Okay, so we got a 60%, and they crammed the arrows by giving that your bottom row they just totally messed up the bottom row. They're like, you know what? We don't care about anything conventional. We're gonna do the bottom row because we want to do it, and you're gonna be forced to use our caps.
Is that a 4U spacebar?
I mean, I don't want it to be, but I think it's 4.5. It's 4.5, I'm pretty sure.
4.5.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes.
So your bottom row is 1, 1, 2, 5, 1, 1, 2, 5, 4.5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Why?
I don't have nice things to say about this keyboard, so I'm not gonna say anything about this keyboard.
Yeah.
It's a 75% with a messed up layout, basically.
Okay. Look by the
and
escape key. Okay, so for the F row, they actually have a space out. You know, F1 through 4, space F5 through 8, right? But look above F4, F5, you have the volume up key, just totally ruining the point of having that gap.
I really don't understand this.
That's so infuriating. Like, holy crap, that mute volume down, volume up. Like, come on. And your F12 is function F11, by the way.
Oh man, you know what I just found that's even more triggering? So if you go through the Flickr album, check out the arrow key cluster. Notice how it's high profile. Rest of the keyboard's low profile.
Oh goodness gracious. Oh goodness gracious. So it gets wow.
I don't know what to say about this. Hey, does Twitch chat like this? Do you guys like this keyboard that you don't have a real picture of yet? Is this design something?
Yeah, tell us, guys. What do you guys think about the Tex Kodachi?
This is not a very user-friendly keyboard. I mean, it's incredibly not customizable. It's incredibly different, and not necessarily in a good way. Also, you want to see something even more triggering? So the blocker between F4 and F5 and F8 and F9 are the same size, but the one between F11 and delete are different sizes.
Oh god, you're right.
And also your F11 key is your F12 key as well.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
This is quite a board. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, I think we've talked about this for
yeah.
enough time.
You know, let's move on to our next topic, which is a bit more of a traditional design, tried and true and loved by a lot of people, which is a 660 layout. Here's the interest check for the Owl 660 by Q Feng in China. Some cool render.
Yeah, it looks beefy. It kind of has that duck style side cutout with the acrylic layer in the middle.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of a duck viper or duck eagle, kind of.
They got the lock notifications or lock lights for cap, scroll, and num between right arrow and delete.
I love that positioning for LED indicators. I think that's fantastic, personally. Either that or between your main cluster and your insert delete cluster. I think that's another good spot for it. The front of this case looks like it's really tall. Maybe it's just the render playing tricks on me.
I wonder if this is also 11 degrees.
Look at how tall this is. I'm not personally a big fan of tall keyboards at all. But, maybe other people will be.
The front is 23 millimeters. So they read this. So that's actually the old design. You scroll down, there's a new design because everyone's like, it's too much like duck.
Oh, really? Is that what people said?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
And they actually made a new design where the bottom of the inside is sucked in, which does actually remind me of another case as well. Funny enough.
It's an LZ design. Yeah. Yeah. It's like almost everything's already been done before. It's so hard to make something like truly original without it being like really over the top or really out there.
But here's the new one. I mean,
it still like looks good. Like it's a good looking board either way. I mean, duck boards and LZ boards tend to look nice anyways. So
if I wanted a 660, I mean my biggest issue is the layout. If I wanted a 660, I'd buy Adam's LZST, but I don't want one, so I'm not going to.
Well, we're not talking about what one user is selling one single board. We're talking about a group buy here.
Yep.
So you know, this is I think it looks okay, and I think with the new design, the front looks a little shorter than the old design, which is nice. That bottom layer looks quite a bit thinner, so hopefully that'll be a little bit more normalized for proper typing.
Yeah.
Looks like the overall keyboard will have 8 degrees of angle. Price will be below 230, and that will include case, plate, and a assembled PCB. So actually pretty reasonable price, all things considered. Obviously, we don't know what shipping is, so that could take a hefty burden as well.
230 actually, yeah, that's not that bad.
That's not bad, yeah. It looks like it'll be top mount. Wait, yeah. Yeah, okay. So it looks like it will be a top mount design. So that's pretty cool. With that acrylic little layer there. Cool. I don't know. I think it looks okay.
So let's move on to our next one, which, speaking of looks, I think it's going to be a very hit or miss for a lot of people. This is the interest check for the Model Dasher D60, which is based off of Dasher terminals back in the day. Okay. So it's based off the Data General Dasher, and here is a 6% custom inspired by one.
You're right. That is very polarizing. It's very, very much a love it or hate it kind of affair. One thing I noticed immediately is based off how like the base flares out like that,
yeah,
to be wider than the rest. It almost feels like there should be a cover that you can put over the top of it.
That'd be cool. Like an acrylic cover, a polycarbonate cover.
Yeah, even like an acrylic cover or something. I think that'd be neat. Other than that, I think it looks fine. It's very out there.
I think it would be cool if it flared on all the sides except the side you type on.
Yeah. I guess that does give added distance between if you use like a wrist rest.
Yeah.
Per se. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for better or worse, I think it's definitely innovation for the sake of innovation. It's something that a lot of people might not like, and only a few people will like, but it's so different from a lot of other keyboards that I think it's good either way, because it's not the same thing as other keyboards.
Yeah. There's going to be a weight on the back. Interesting. So the interest check runner is considering running a prototype. I hope, love it or hate it as a person, I hope they run a prototype for the sake of getting that far, to really have it in your hands.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see what happens if they actually get a prototype in their hands, and maybe we can get some more info on it, because this thread is lacking a lot of info. It just has a lot of old pictures.
Yeah, just a
couple renders.
Has more pictures of like the old vintage Dasher general keyboard than of the render itself.
This is very much an early interest check, that's for sure. But
yes.
Hey, if it's your thing, make sure to comment, say how much you love it and what you'd change about it, if anything. Show that support.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that's how interest checks work.
Let's move on to our next interest check. This is for the FNT 1916 80% keyboard, which is interesting. It has a little like flared lip for the top parts. Yeah.
FNT 1916. I wonder what that name is based off of.
1916. What happened in 1916? It was a leap year.
Wow, nice.
World War I was a thing that was happening.
All right. Well, okay. Let's talk about the keyboard itself for a second. So the bottom design, kind of like we were just talking about with that 660 design a few topics ago, is very LZ kind of inspired, which is fine. LZ slash like TGR Jane, I guess. It's kind of the way that bottom is. The top is pretty interesting to have that that flare. I kind of like it.
I wish they would choose better colors to render this board in.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Again, like our last one, this seems to be a very early IC, so very little information. He's kind of just looking for suggestions on where to go, which is cool. He seems to be pretty open to everything. So, you know, maybe this will look very different when it actually does come out, if it does. But I think it's a pretty fine design. It's nice. I'd like to see a win keyless option.
Yeah, love to see.
I feel like these days every TKL Group I pretty much needs at least the option for win keyless.
Yeah.
I think we could all agree on a TKL that just looks the best.
Also, thank you, Morning Coffee, for the Twitch Prime subscription.
Very nice. Arigatou gozaimasu. All right.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one, because it's hard to have much to say when they don't have much information for us yet.
Yeah, it's just the same guy that did the Mars.
But it's okay though. I don't know. But let's move on to something that has a bit more information. Our next one is the Apex high-profile angled aluminum case for the Planck. This is by Woodkeys, who has been doing a lot of custom things lately. This is a very, very inspired design case for the Planck, in my opinion.
To me, it greatly resembles the 5 degree case from KBD fans. It kind of has the same thing going on, which is fine. It's a nice design. A lot of people liked it and bought it.
A lot of colors, starting at $115. This is going to be pre-order. 3 degree angle, so it's almost flat, not completely. Very gentle.
Yeah, that's very gentle. I'd prefer a little less gentle, but I'm also not a Planck user, and I know a lot of people that type on ortho prefer very flat typing. So it looks like you can buy this with a Planck Rev 6 PCB hot swap or the low cost version.
Awesome, awesome.
For an add-on price, of course. There.
Ooh, you can get the case powder coated or Cerakoted as well. Lots of big thing a lot of people have been doing on their own afterwards if they don't like the finish of their board. But this is straight from the Group I. You can get a Cerakote finish or powder coat finish, and powder coat finish isn't more expensive. It's only the Cerakote finish that adds $50.
Actually, it's something you might have missed. The powder coat actually subtracts from the price. So powder coated, the price is $95. Anodized, it's $115. Cerakote, it is $145. So powder coat is actually the cheapest option here. So that's pretty cool. That way you can get a sub $100 Planck case, high profile aluminum, which isn't too bad. IMO.
Yeah, that's definitely not too shabby. If I didn't already have a high profile Planck, and I actually used it more regularly than I do, which I probably will now that I can get around to QMK, this would be a pretty good option.
Yeah, for sure. Not too shabby.
Cerakote. Is that going to be late 2018, early 2019 meme of RMK?
Probably. It hasn't really seen that much adaptation yet.
I think so here's my theory, okay? The main audience that uses Cerakote are people who are into guns. There's 8 Cerakote places within 5 miles of my house right now. In my town, there's at least like 20 Cerakote places in my town. All of them are marketed for gun owners because gun owners Cerakote guns. That's just so a lot of these keyboards are produced in China or produced in places where guns just aren't as popular. Or they're just like, it's not a big market for them. So there's just not many shops that do Cerakote. Unless they send it basically to, somewhere in the U.S. where we're good old American Second Amendment, Rudy point and shooty. Yeah. But
Rudy point and shooty. Wow. Never heard that. Tokyo Coffee Nerd, it's a pleasure to have you in the chat. Glad you're around, and thank you very much for the 100 bits.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yes. I like to see him fall into that cup.
You know what? Maybe I should get a keyboard share code for science. There's so many places near me. I just ask.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Mm-hmm.
You should do, like a tray mount case, like your Fiel, maybe.
I was thinking that. Okay, but let's move on to more news. We have an interest check over on the non-keyboard side of things, but keyboard side of things. This is an interest check for the H-EVA sound dampening foam, a 1.5 millimeter thickness sound reduction foam that's supposed to reduce up to 15 decibels. The material is H-EVA. Yeah, it's foam.
Yeah, so this is, when I saw this, I was like, huh, that sounds kind of interesting. And the price isn't too bad, honestly. And so I reached out to him and I said, hey, can Top Clack get some review samples? And he was more than happy to oblige. So as far as I'm aware, he is sending me, I think he's sending me multiple sizes.
Yay.
And possibly multiple pieces of each size. I'm not entirely sure what he's sending me. Whether he sends me one piece for 60% or sends me 3 pieces for a bunch of different keyboards. Totally happy with it. I'm going to test this side by side against my super cheap go-to, which is Silverstone silencing foam, as well as the more expensive Sorbothane option.
Sorbothane the new meme, I promise you.
And I'll probably go out and buy like some shelf liner or something, and I'll do a video on the sound comparison between all of them, probably in multiple keyboards if possible. So that'll be pretty cool. We'll be able to get side by side testing there. So very happy he was willing to send me some samples. Looking forward to those.
That's going to be pretty cool. So everyone, check out the sale is live now. Here's a sale post. It's but it's closed for now. But it's something that I think a lot of people should pay attention to because sound's been a really big part for keyboards in this community. So once they're on top of all the orders, Parallelogram, great name by the way, is going to be opening up again, and I think a lot of people are going to see how round one really turns out and what the difference is for a lot of people. Because even if it's not quieter, if it makes it sound better, that's a real big attraction for people. So check it out when you get a chance.
It's definitely like it's quite a bit cheaper than Sorbothane too. So hopefully that's an option, because Sorbothane, although it's a pretty cool material and it may be super effective, it's very expensive in comparison.
Yes. But
once again, like we've talked before, that's kind of a perceived value, and maybe spending $15 to silence a single keyboard is totally fine when you're silencing an $800 keyboard and you want it quieter.
Yeah.
Or a very specific sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into that another time. Good stuff though.
Speaking of good stuff, a lot of people like modding. Just like the sound, they like modding the feels. And we have a small teaser. If you look at this recent post that Switch Mod put up 4 days ago, they were teasing that they're going to be working on putting some springs on switchmod.net, which is going to be great. Definitely people want more sources for different things. Switchmod.net, also run by Krell, but I guess we had recently. It says he's going to be working with a community member. The community member, if you don't know, is Cat Wee Wee, who does the Singa. Yeah, so hopefully those springs turn out good, and hopefully they're in a good variety of weights people will enjoy. I guess I can also give the news. Krell was already announced publicly the meme is dead. Ripperino in Picerino.
That makes me sad, because I was really looking forward to having a gasket mount case that wasn't TKL or larger.
Yeah, same.
Such is life.
Such is life. But hey, keep your eye out on that, and you know what? Sure, check out Red Riot or Yolsh, because that page is up.
Yeah, just because we're already here and talking about it, quick note about Red Riot and Yolsh. He actually talks about it a little bit in this post that was posted 4 days ago. He's about 55 sets short on MOQ, so it's actually been a little slow going. So, you know, if you're even remotely interested in these sets, definitely pick them up. Especially like at least Red Riot. I mean, it's so cheap. Like, you know, come on, it's really good value. And by going and actually buying these sets from him, it sets him up for future success with other projects that he wants to do, the community wants. So it's kind of like a rolling thing.
So you spoke about really good value. You know what's really good value, Brian? Top Clack content, which has come out this last week.
Turns out it's free. That's good value.
If you guys haven't seen yet, head over to the Top Clack YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't. But recently I put out a review for SA Lime. I put out the most recent Witch Switch episode for box heavy switches. I promise Witch Switch isn't dead, guys. I'm just busy. I'm sorry. And Brian put out a really cool video on the M6A Top Clack Edition unboxing, which is the awesome blue color. So check those things out if you haven't had a chance.
Yeah, make sure you check out that M6 unboxing, because like I've teased in the past, for Top Clack supporters there will be a giveaway. Rama has confirmed it's a 1 in 4 limited color. I imagine that means he has 2 of them. It's a 1 in 4 limited color. It's a very, very like deep, rich blue. It looks amazing. You can see it in that unboxing, and yeah, so make sure you're in the Discord, link below, and it's also below in the video if you're not in the official Discord, because how to win that will be posted in the announcements channel probably within the next day or 2. So make sure you're up in that if you're a Top Clack supporter. That's a pretty epic giveaway, and make sure you thank Rama for being so freaking awesome.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Speaking of things that are awesome, something that a lot of people have been looking forward to for a long time. Novel Keys has finally released for sale the box Royal switches. 75-gram tactile switches with the slightly shorter 3.6 millimeter of travel with that big bump. It's available. I can't say much yet. We can't say much yet because we haven't had the real ones in our hands. But hopefully we will soon for review samples. And hopefully we can get you guys whether or not the bird is the word. But the lighter versions still feel pretty good, to be honest. And I'm looking forward to these. And a lot of people are.
So if you been living under a rock and you didn't catch it maybe last week, it was confirmed that all of the samples of the box Royals that he sent out did not have the correct spring weight. It was lighter than intended. And as we have learned a lot from particularly Input Club, the feel of a switch can change a lot based on just the spring. So with that in mind, neither myself nor Huey have tried the final version of the box Royals, so we don't know quite how they feel yet. We just have a vague general idea based on what we've been given with the samples. So we have been told that we are going to be getting some, so we can do a little review and impressions once that arrives.
So I will say though, because I do have the old ones, I'm actually going to desolder them, and by popular demand, people wanted me, because I have enough for a full board, to make the box Royal Hakos, which is the Royal stuff but with the Hako stem. So I will try that out in this weekend probably for everyone here.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious how that would work as well. Wow, someone's gonna clip that.
I love that. I love this one, dude. The feel is so nice.
Oh heck yeah! I just bet you're
oh yeah. I mean,
licking it / pretending to lick it. But yes. Anyways, look forward to that, and I mean they're available to buy right now. And as far as I'm aware, they're not sold out yet. And even once they sell out, I think they will be getting another shipment in very soon. I don't think he's trying to have a repeat of what happened with the navies. I think he's going to be a lot more prepared.
That was harsh for a lot of people. A lot of people had to do a lot of bit of waiting because, yeah. But he definitely learned his lesson. A lot of bit of waiting.
Yeah. So this one should be pretty smooth. If you want Royals, you should be in luck, and you should definitely grab them while you can.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, Top Clack wouldn't be able to run as smooth as it was without our wonderful sponsors. Starting with Novel Keys, since we're already here. You know, Novel Keys now has the new box Royal switches in stock. You should check that out if you haven't had a chance. Mike just restocked on all the screw and stabs and normal stabs from GMK. So if you've been hounding for some 2U stabs, 7U stabs, go for it. He's got them in stock. They just restocked. Perfect. And you know what? If you want to be as smooth as the man himself, pick up that Novelties t-shirt. Just pick up that. Yeah.
Mike's a pretty smooth guy.
Yeah, right?
Smooth talker.
He is a smooth guy. Speaking of things that are smooth, it's good to have good, smooth, lubed switches, like with some nice lubed Zelios. And to get nice lubed Zelios, you need to get some Zelios. So head over to zealpc.net if you haven't yet, and pick some up or for his round 11 group buy.
Heck yeah. Some
Yeah.
Telios too. Pick up Telios.
Telios. Pick up some
Feels smooth,
Silence.
Man. Yeah. Just don't ask Zeal to make a GIF for you. Because it'll crash your stream.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I'll work on that. I'll work on that.
I've been hearing some rumors about Zephyr round 2.
Yeah, right.
Which is cool. Hopefully, the round 1 will ship in the near future. We can see lots of those in the wild, and then get a proper round 2 as well. That'd be nice.
I mean, see, here's my thing. You know, I sold my M65 because I'm like, I only ever want one 65% board. 65% is my favorite layout, but I appreciate it. So my idea was I sold my M65, and I was going to get the meme. But now the meme is dead. Zephyr. That's the 65 I'm going to rest my laurels on.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, Cursor TN, thank you very much for the sub via Twitch Prime.
4 months in a row. Thank you so much.
Helps us out a lot. Also, up on our sponsors list, we have, of course, the Beast in the East, Z Frontier, which you can check out via that link. They got tons and tons and tons of key sets in stock. They're proxying key sets for just about everyone in the community now if you're in Asia. So, of course, you know, Necro, I believe, is still going on there. They got GMK Lily is over.
JTK Hana is
JTK Hana,
going on. Okay.
GMK Phantom.
They got a lot of in stock. Like they got JTA Black and White in stock, Purple and White in stock. They just they just ran through Alpha X3. All 40 units sold. Congratulations to Z Frontier for that, by the way. Wow. It's one heck of a board, even if it might have been at one heck of a price. But hey, those 40 people will have something no one else will have.
Yep, very, very rare, very limited, very interesting, very unique board.
So check out all those group buys when you guys get a chance. I'm sad.
I'm sad that we didn't get like a really good prototype. And obviously that's not their fault at all.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool to actually check out the X3 truly. They also have GMK Burgundy going on right now, like we talked about earlier. Like I said, they're proxying for everyone and their moms these days.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. The fact that they're able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, of course, we have Input Club, or as their storefront is known, kono.store. You head over there, you can get Ahako Switches, SA Troubled Mind key set. I think today is the last day to get it. I think it closes I think it's tomorrow, actually. So you can get that. You can get White Foxes. You can show interest for DSA Arcane or Plague. Support your homeboy Oblatsky. He's the designer of that set. DSA Mystery interest checks go out
starting tomorrow.
That earlier.
Starting tomorrow, actually, DSA Mystery. So if you're interested, check it out. You know, I might caught myself a set, to be honest. I think it's just like a nice lighthearted case that would go really well with my K-type, to be honest.
Heck yeah.
And I also want to check out the quality of the air die sub.
Yeah, that's something that
what
I think
me.
we definitely need to do.
More so than the case, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure you head over to the apparel section if you're buying stuff from Kono anyways. Maybe add a Top Clack shirt or a White Fox shirt to your order. $20, not too terrible for a shirt.
Add two.
Add two, and wear them both at the same time.
Ooh.
I don't know why you do that.
Cut both of them in half and stitch them together. So on one arm, one side you have a top clack, or so it'd be op. Another side would be like half of a fox. So.
Oh, you mean like wear a Top Clack and a White Fox shirt together? Okay,
yeah.
That'd be interesting. Anyways, yes, make sure you head over there, buy some apparel as well. It's good for the soul. So look at this.
Yeah,
look at my soul. See my soul?
Great for the soul.
My soul right now. It's nice, comfy behind this Top Clack logo.
Ooh.
Anyways, now would be the time we would normally move on to our guest segment.
But
We do not have a guest today.
we have discussion today instead, and I have something to discuss, Ryan.
Heck yes, let's go.
So we talked about earlier how Z Frontier is basically proxying for everyone who wants to sell to China, right? Any Western designer, Z Frontier is the way to go. Yeah, that's kind of undisputed at this point. If you want to if you want a solid, reputable proxy for China, you go through Z Frontier.
Okay.
What's the Europe equivalent? Can there be a Europe equivalent? Will there be a Europe equivalent?
Well, I mean, a lot of people have been using. Is it mykeyboard.eu?
A few buys have gone through there. They seem to be one of the biggest growing ones. I mean, for you in chat, I know there's quite a few of you who interact a lot with the European scene. I'm not super familiar, but to me it seems like there's no big domineering force like that. It seems like there's actually quite like 2 or 3 of them that really get spotlight with proxying in Europe.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to like the US situation. As doing a cable put in the chat, mechboards.co.uk, Candy Keys, and mykeyboard.eu. So
yeah, which are definitely not bad options. But like, I think the reason Huey brought this up is just because the sheer force that Z Frontier has in the Asian communities. It's like there aren't really any other like sites like that. I guess KBD fans in a way, but they don't really do the same thing.
They do their own things.
They do their own thing. Yeah. So lots of UK and EU vendors that are kind of split up a little bit smaller. Not necessarily a bad thing, I guess.
I mean, it's kind of like how it is in the US. There's the monolith that is Mass Drop, for better or worse, and there's a lot of other players in the arena. Kona.store, Novelkeys has done group buys in the past. Dixie Mech as well has done 2 group buys now. Donut Cable works on a lot of group buys and interest checks. Cartel has recently done is trying to do GMK Doom.
There are so many vendors these days, like everywhere. Like anywhere you go, there's so many vendors. I don't know. It's kind of overwhelming at times.
I guess it's really interesting in the difference of like how the community views things. Because in China, I don't know that many people there, but it seems like they're really just okay with like, let's just go through Z Frontier for all the Western proxy. And here there's like capitalism, choices, keyboards.
Avid User 2 says, I'm buying from mykeyboard.eu, presumably, all the time. Okay.
There's quite a few people in chat who are definitely really supporting of mykeyboard.eu. So maybe they're definitely
They're becoming...
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is good, because I know a lot of people in Europe always complain on our Discord, like, hey, VAT is killing me. Killing me. I'm like, oh, yeah, 22% VAT for an import? That's stupid.
Lusky Pastor says MK is the pinnacle of capitalism. yeah. Not really wrong there. All right. Well, guys.
I want to bring something else up as well.
Okay. Quick. You should do that.
MX Xylence. Are they a meme? Are they as memey as Holy Pandas? Like, is there? Do you think there's a perceived meme to quality ratio? Because, like, for example, like Holy Pandas, when we first like talked about them, everyone's like, oh, they're a meme because the prices were jumping up. But as more people actually started using them, everyone's like, well, as tactiles, these are kind of amazing, right? On the other hand, for linears, MX Xylence, a lot of people kind of criticize them for their price or the work you need to do, which is do a really good job at lubing. But is the quality matching the criticism? I think it is. I personally don't like MX Xylence that much. I think they're great switches, but I don't think they're the best linears by any stretch.
They're very good. They're very silent. Yeah, to me, it's not really worth it. Personally, I don't think MX Xylence are that amazing. I do think they're very smooth if done properly, which is good. I value that a lot, but I actually value sound a lot too. I don't particularly want quiet switches, and I've used MX Xylence on several different boards now, and they feel pretty good. but then you have very little sound when you bottom out, and like I want the sound, man. I want the sound desperately. So they're really not for me. I'm not really in the market for them. It's just like Silence and Topra, right? Like the year ago, 2 years ago, everyone had to have hyperspheres, dental bands.
Oh god,
like
not dental bands. Dental bands are so bad.
And I'm like, hey, stock Topra isn't even that loud to begin with. And second of all, if you lube Topra, you cut the noise in half like automatically or more.
And it feels better.
And it feels better and smoother. So it's like, why would you need hyperspheres and stuff? But like that was like the thing. Everyone wanted silent Topra. Like you had to have it, or you were just like a nobody. So I think we're kind of seeing a resurgence of the similar theory based on the MX Silence here. But to me, like right now, this like as the community grows, we get way more unique sounds from keyboards, and obviously a lot of people might not care about typing sounds, but to me it's a really big deal. And like nowadays we have so many plate materials, we have so many different case materials, like the way they're designed, we have so many different switches, different manufacturers, different modifications, lots of different lubes and springs and et cetera, all these things that can alter like sound and feel, that like I wouldn't want to just kill off an entire sense like that personally.
For me, I'm actually okay with them being completely silent. I still don't believe they're actually completely silent, and nothing in the world will ever make me believe that. Even though people claim crazy claims like that. But I actually don't like the bottom out feel. For linears, I bottom out. That's just how I type in linears. Because there's no bump for me. So I go all the way because I'm Huey. Huey goes all the way. And for me,
as far as you can, at least.
Yeah, that mush on the bottom isn't the best for me. I like Zeal's implementation better, even though his are tactiles, because he uses a harder rubber compound. I know a lot of people don't like how that ends up sounding, but for me, I need that feel. For me, that feel is really important on the bottom out for a switch like that. And for me, it's not there. It's smooth. The smoothness is great, but then the thing is, like, sure, you can make any linear switch super smooth if you lube it well and it has good components in it, right? I can get Telios as smooth as MX Silence as easy. It's just lubing.
Yeah.
But then at the bottom, that mush, that kills me. That hurts. That hurts my soul. If I could have MX, if Zeal has his silent Telios in the future with the same hard rubber compound, I'm in. I'm game.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be better than MX Silence.
That for me is the game changer.
Yeah, so I think it is. I think MX Silence are a little bit of a meme right now, but I would also agree that Holy Pandas are a little bit of a meme right now. I think they're both very good switches, but I'm not spending $3, $4, $5 a switch on Holy Pandas or whatever. Like, I'm just not doing it.
Oh man, Zeal telling me summer. Oh,
Ooh,
Zeal,
please. Pretty close.
Zeal, please. It's summer next month. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna don't get technical with us, Henry. But yeah, that'll be cool to see those coming out soon. But I do think those will be a good alternative, and obviously they will require less work and probably less money.
What? There's people who are talking about this, and I think we should address it. The people are saying there's places where you can't have a ton of sounds. You don't need to have a keyboard that quiet to have a ton of sound. I can have a normal mechanical keyboard that's silent, that's quieter than most rubber domes at my work, and just lube it. That's
yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about like super loud clacky keyboard. I'm not comparing about that.
Yeah, I mean there's definitely merits to having silence, but I mean you can get basically equivalently silent switches as MX Silence for a lower price and less work. Like it's just kind of...
because the way I see it, if you actually need switches that quiet, then and you have other people around you working, that means you're the only one working because everyone else has a louder keyboard, right? Unless you work in an office of two and that person is like just so crazy.
No, I mean, I get there are definitely scenarios where you'd want a silent keyboard, but that doesn't necessarily mean MX Silence are the best way to accomplish that. There are other ways to do it. Look on stream. We did a build stream recently. Excuse me. We did a build stream recently. I built a TX60 for a customer. I had lubed Zelio housings with not MX Silent stems, but vintage black stems. I did a typing test towards the end of that video. Even without having MX Silent stems, the board was like not even like whisper. Like it was like, especially in person, it was insane. Like how quiet that keyboard was. And you know, I've done similar things with Helios. Like you can really get like a super quiet switch without having MX silence. It just depends on, you know, things like the way you lube, the type of lube you use, your plate material. You can have really quiet keyboards without using MX silence. That's all I'm saying. Come on, autofocus.
I will put the caveat, it might take more work, you know? I might take a better job to lube your switches in order to achieve that than with MX silence, which have the crutch of those rubber bumpers. That's fine. It was actually completely understandable for a lot of people. And like I said, a lot of people, like they mentioned in the chat, they do like that feel, which is actually great if you guys enjoy that feel. It's just not, that feel isn't for me. But hey, I know a lot of people really enjoy that feel, and that's a great thing for them.
Yeah, Zambomon actually brings up box switches are quite silent. They are.
Yeah.
Like even like stock like box blacks or something. Like I don't know if it's just the way the switch is designed or the material of the bottom housing, but they're really quiet. Like they really are. I am here. Who is guest? Asked Krelbit. No guest today. We're kind of just going through little discussion points here before we hop into a Q&A, which we are about to do. We did already talk about how the meme is dead. Yes.
Yes. Long live the meme. I mean, but it's because it's dead.
Your dog is guest? Wow.
Christmas Can is a pretty attractive dog.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's pretty cute. Pretty cute. I'm all for the awe pictures.
Georgia would slide Chris's dogs some digits.
All right, you guys. Now that discussion's pretty much coming to an end, we'll move over to a Q&A like we always do. So if you have questions, we got answers. Make sure you're using that @TopClack tag so we can see the questions a little bit easier. I know, obviously, we don't have a guest, so the questions will have to be targeted towards us, which may or may not be good for you. Box blacks are great value. Best switch in my opinion.
They're pretty good value switch.
It's very good value. Yeah.
I would make another box blackboard. Let's get to these questions though.
Yeah. All right. So Avid User 2 is asking our thoughts on the new FC660C colors. I had no idea there were new colors.
Yeah, they're new colors. I don't have any thoughts about them. I need to see them a bit better first. For me, I just don't care about the 660 layout. So like, news about 660 stuff usually just goes past me, unless it's like a custom, like the one we covered today, the owl.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen the new colors, but feel free if you want to link the new colors. We'll definitely check them out. JTMC is asking, how do you feel about artisan prices right now? I have no idea, dude.
I haven't followed them for years, and if they're on the same steady rise as they were when I did care, like 2 years ago, then it's redonkulous.
Yeah, I have no idea if you mean retail pricing, like for raffles and stuff, or if you mean aftermarket pricing, but I don't really follow it anymore. Yeah, not really into artisans these days. For the most part, there's still a couple that I really like, and there's still a couple artists that I really do support and think are fantastic. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm not an artisan collector by any stretch of the imagination. Megaforce asking a troll question: why are Romer G better T-Jan silence? What is T-Jan? I don't know. Morning Coffee is asking, how many M60s do you think Rama sold? I have no idea.
432.
Really? You think that many? I was
No.
thinking much lower. I was thinking like 250, maybe.
I don't know, man.
I have no idea. I mean, either of us could be very, very off. It's a good question, though. Cursor TN is asking, can Huey give us an update on the Castle keyboard that is being designed on Friday nights?
Yes. A prototype is in production. A prototype in production. Yes.
Yeah,
PCB is on order as well, I believe.
Yeah, so the design stream actually ended. There will not be an episode tomorrow, and I don't think there was one last week either. It was the week before it ended.
We won't have a design stream again until we get the prototype in hand and decide if we need to do any redesigns. But if the case is good to go and everything is no more need to redesign, then we're going to start with production.
Yeah, nice. So NGB is asking, have you put Telios in MX black housings? I have not. That's I'd be curious to see how that feels though, because MX housings, you know, even though they're not usually the best in terms of feel, they sound very good, and most enthusiasts agree with that. So I'd be curious to hear how Telios in MX housing sound. I'll have to try that. Max5 is saying Rama already said about 800 M60 sold. Wow.
Good for him.
That is yeah, that's fantastic. I never would have guessed that a keyboard of that price would have sold that many units. Not that his price was necessarily bad, but it's just a lot to pay for a keyboard in the grand scheme of things. It's very nice though, and I am very excited to get mine.
New York.
That's a really high number though. Nice. Feel Good Music is asking thoughts on best stock switch, linear or tactile. Been a while since I've used unlubed switches. Best stock switch. I mean, for linears, you got. I love Telios. I love Telios. Even unlubed, I think they're pretty good. Like we said earlier, box switches I think have really good value. Box reds, box blacks, box dark yellows, all linear. I think those are all pretty darn good. They're very stable, very smooth. They're kind of quiet on the bottom out though. A lot of the click bar switches I think are actually really good. I think the whites and the pale blues are both very good. I think the navies and jades are both really good stock switches. Obviously that's not clicky, or that is clicky. It's not linear or tactile. But yeah, I mean, box royals are coming out. Box royals may be the best stock tactile coming out. Who knows? We'll hopefully learn soon. AZ Walker Stop, have you guys heard anything about these new royal switches? Well, we've talked a little bit about them today. We do not have the updated final versions yet that is selling currently in the store, so we don't really know how they are in comparison to the lighter springed review samples that were sent out. Tokyo Coffee Nerd, thoughts on Japan's ortho layout love?
I'm not that big on ortho. I know it's really big there. Bektor has told us quite a few times that when they have meetups, a lot of people who custom make their own crazy orthos come by and are like, hey, maybe it's just beneficial to how Japanese people type, that ortholinears fall into place. But that creativity is awesome.
Yeah, and I've brought this up on the show before, but if you look at any pictures from like any of the Tokyo meetups, you'll see a lot of ortho there. You'll see a lot of split there. You'll see a lot of split ortho there, and you'll see a lot of like custom split ortho there. So obviously there's something about it. I don't know if it's just like more efficient for them in some format. Maybe it is. Hard to say, but I think it's interesting at the very least. Chris Tien is saying, did you see the announcement for the TICs for the Seattle Summer Meetup on July 28th at Seattle Pacific University? Yes, I saw it as soon as it went up. I got my ticket already.
I should probably get my ticket soon.
Probably should, honestly.
I don't know. I need to figure I can figure out if I can make it. I should be able to make it, but I don't know. I'll probably buy my ticket. What day was it? July 10th?
July 20th.
20th. Okay, not during Anime Expo. I can
28th.
probably go then.
Yeah, it's almost the end. So I'm clicking on this link that Avid User 2 just posted about the new 660 colors. Looking through them. Give me a second. So this is kind of like actually this Leopold key set colorway dates back for a while. They've actually sold this as an aftermarket key set for MX stems for quite a while now. That's like their blue and gray. I think it looks okay. I don't really like the accents on the 5 through 8 unless it's on a TKL. So hopefully the key set comes with both options for that. But I mean, it looks good. It's kind of reminiscent of like a 10th anniversary Real Force kind of thing. Crowbot asking, can I crash at Brian's if I go to Seattle meetup this summer?
Sorry, I'm already on the other side of the bed.
Yeah, like I don't have like spare rooms. Like we have a couch in the living room that usually the cats sleep on. That's like about it. I don't have a lot of space. I wish I did. It's possible we can work something out. Note that I'm actually still quite a ways from the Seattle meetup.
He's an hour ferry ride away from Seattle, and the meetup is in Seattle.
Yeah. So I mean, there's like a little bit of travel time between me and the ferry, then an hour-long ferry, and there's a little bit of travel time from that ferry terminal to the meetup. So
hey, if anyone is if anyone is like me and actually makes like meetups a weekend trip, because like when I went to Seattle last year, I did a Friday, Saturday, Sunday meetup on Saturday. Friday, I get in early and I head over to Bremerton across the ferry, and I drink and eat food with Brian.
Yeah, and downtown Bremerton has some cool like coffee joints and hole-in-the-wall food places.
I forced Brian to wake up at like noon like a normal person to spend time with us.
Yeah, that whole week was rough for me, man. Like I adjusted my schedule. It'd probably be a little bit better now because like I've been getting up at like 1 lately, so getting up at like noon isn't really too bad. But like the day of the meetup, I got up at like 8 or something like that, which is, I mean, at that point in time, I was going to bed like an hour before that, so it was kind of tough to swap that schedule. My body did not handle it very well. Anyways, back to questions. Sorry about that, guys. B the Zebra is asking, Brian, what is the name of the Dolch set you missed? So it's GMK Dolch, but it was by Kekon.
He ran it with slightly different mods, with more icon mods and some other things that are different, and compatibility.
Yeah, so it is a GMK set. It's just Kekon was the GB runner. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. D0 Thed is saying, since Jack Humbert named the Planck keyboard after Max Planck, could Brian please stop saying Plunk? So it's actually, the physicist is Planck, not Planck. And I don't think I've ever said Plunk.
Yeah, know what Jack says? You can say it however you want to say it.
Yeah, we've had Jack on the show twice now, if I'm not mistaken. I've asked him that question both times, and he says either pronunciation is fine and correct. He just says Planck, but it's named after the physicist Planck.
Boom. Goes the keyboard.
Kuji. Oh, never mind. Sorry, that's not our question. Oblati is saying pics of final design. I assume he means the castle.
I don't have an imager. Actually, let me see. I'll put an imager real quick, and then
I'll go over another question while you do that. Yeah. So Flux Capacitor is asking, I feel like powder coating, microarc oxidation / PEO. What is PEO? I don't know what that is. Ceramic coating is showing up all over the place. What are the advantages and disadvantages of these? Very interesting question. I am not a metal worker or some kind of finishing expert, so, or at least not that kind of finishing. Heyo.
Hey.
So I can't really comment too much on that. My thoughts so far from what I've seen is that I mean, powder coating's been around for quite a while. It's a fairly inexpensive option that you just don't really see because people seem to prefer anodization for whatever reason. Mao, in my experience so far, has been very fragile, but I've heard there are potential reasons why the most outside layer would be fragile. It scrapes like mad in my experience, but I've only owned, we've had like two Mao boards. I have one on hand right now. Ceramic coating I think is really neat. That's one that I like seeing the most right now because I think you can get a very true like bright light out of it. I think that's really cool, and I just love that kind of like porcelain kind of finish and feel. I don't really know the advantages and disadvantages of each at the moment off the top of my head, unfortunately. JTNC is asking, how's the Tokyo 60 holding up? It's holding up very well. I was using the other day. I brought it to a little mini meetup and I showed it off and people loved it. I need to desolder it and do some switch work on it, and then I'm going to rebuild it with some quieter switches, specifically for the purpose of it being an on-the-go street board.
Ooh. Nice.
Woodkeys brings up a good point on that metal finishing question. Different methods can get you different colors, different shades also, so that's definitely a reason. Constantin UB is asking, do you use an agent when ordering from Taobao? If so, which one?
Usually I order with people who are also ordering, and usually they take care of it, to be honest. I haven't needed to do that myself, but I've been recommended, a lot of people have recommended Superbuy. Is the #1 recommendation I get.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Usually I kind of just group on with other people. Zoology is asking, Vector showed proof of life in JP meetup post. Are you guys still in touch? We talk every now and then. We talked a little bit a few days ago, but he's a very, very busy person. We haven't really had much time to converse.
Like, knowing how busy he is, I feel bad if, like, I start a conversation, because I'm like, he's actually really busy. Like, can I just poke him?
He's been, like, flying all around the world, too.
Yeah, he's...
Every time I look, he's like, "Oh, I'm in like Canada now, and now I'm in China." Or like, I'm just like, "What? Why do you keep going everywhere?"
He's Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we wish him the best, and we hope everything works out well for him. Hopefully, we can, get in touch with him soon. NGB is asking, "What keycap set are you most excited about this year?"
Burgundy, maybe round 2. Waiting for my Red Samurai. Waiting for my camping. Those are pretty hype for me. Because if I have camping might finally be the keycap set. I can finally put this goddamn God MX Mini to rest. That if you guys have watched the show or watched my content, you guys know I've had this for a long, long time, and I've rebuilt this at least a dozen times.
That poor PCB.
Hopefully that will be the last key set I need for this board, and this board will be okay. After that, the good old green mini.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what my most excited key set is. I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, I almost don't care that much about key sets anymore. I like a lot of the ways some of them look, and I dislike a lot of the ways some of them look, and I obviously use a lot of them. But like nowadays, like as long as it's like GMK and it looks okay on whatever board I'm using, I'm not really too picky anymore.
So basically, if it's not in the 3 that you're really lusting afterwards, get out of your face.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like all the ones I own. I usually don't buy things that like I'm not gonna like, but I don't know, man. After seeing and talking about so many key sets these days, it's kind of just like, just kind of over it now. My preferences in this hobby always wax and wane, and I'm always interested in different things. Like switches have been the one thing I'm most interested in, like usually, just because I prefer things that alter sound and feel the most. Anyways, Lunar Sama is asking, not a keyboard question, but any tips getting back into Overwatch? Join the Top Clack Discord. Pay attention to the games channel.
Yeah,
a lot of us play Overwatch pretty regularly. I've played the last like 3 or 4 or 5 days. Tips for getting back into it. That's hard,
just
man.
Play with us. Play more. We play with anyone, any skill. Just hang out. The best way to play is just to get better, is get into the game and just kind of working on your map memory if you don't have your map memory, and then kind of learn the most recent meta, like what's being played a lot nowadays and why. Work on those 2 things and play with some cool people.
Dive composition is still pretty much king. Read some of the most recent patch notes. That'll give you an idea. But yeah, just play. Honestly, just play quick play or something. There's not really it's not really a mystery. It's not anything hard. It's just just same as picking up any game again.
It's gotta get good.
Yeah, get good. There you go. Avid User 2 is asking, I recently bought X2 Topra board. Oh, two, so like two Topra boards, Type S HHKB and FC660C, and it costed me about the same as a nice custom MX board. Any thoughts? Felt cheap being able to get two very nice boards. I mean, I've never really had a problem with the price of HHKBs or 660Cs. I do think the Type S is a little more expensive than it should be and a little overrated. I've owned a Type S. I typed on one for quite a while, and I didn't think that that particular silencing method was worth it for the severely like inflated price. I think I paid like 280 for mine or something like that at the time. This was like 2 years ago. I paid like 280 for it, and I could have gotten a normal HHKB on Mech Market for like 170, like 170, 180. And like, in looking back on it now, I much would have preferred just getting a normal HHKB first and then lubing it, because that's like a couple dollars and like, you know, an hour of my day. And that would have been a much better value for me. I thought the Type S didn't feel quite as tactile. I didn't really like it as much. But I do like the 660C a lot. I think it might be, it's either the best or the second best stock Topra typing experience, in my opinion, either right next to or right behind or right in front of the 55 gram Real Force.
Yeah, for me, the F660C kind of falls in an odd spot, because most people who get into like Topra are enthusiasts who'd be willing to change things up. If you're willing to modify a board, get your HHKB, lube that up, Buttercup, you're hunky dory, you're golden. If I know like two people who are in this weird sphere where like they know enough about boards to want to get a Topra board, but they're not into boards enough to care to modify them in any way.
Yeah, and Topra's pretty forgiving. Like,
yeah,
it
is.
It's like, it's fast to modify. It's not that. It's not.
They don't want to do any of that. And for them, I'm like, get the F660C. Then it's a small form factor. If you're not willing to modify, the stock typing experience for the F660C is better than the stock typing experience for the HHKB. Or if you're willing, yeah. And I told them, or if you're okay with something slightly bigger, get the Real Force 87U. That's going to be the king. You're set.
For sure. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
That's the thing for me. It's such a weird subset because, yeah.
Right now, I think if you're looking at an HHKB specifically with some form of silencing method, the Type S doesn't really make sense, right? Because it's more expensive than buying a normal HHKB and using an objectively better silencing method, even if you're not lubing it. Like, obviously we like to lube because it's smoother and quieter, but like, you can buy the KBD fans silencing rings, the Clack silencing rings, and even after that and lubing, you're still at a lower price than a Type S.
Even Hypersphere rings, are cheaper than Type S, and they're expensive.
Yeah, which are a joke these days. Nobody even uses Hyperspheres anymore. Hyperspheres was the talk of the town years ago, but like now nobody even uses them anymore.
Who?
Yeah, so there's that. As far as thoughts go, I mean, yeah, Topra's not necessarily cheap, but I think if done right, or you get the right stock board, it can feel pretty good. I always usually suggest buying your Topra boards secondhand, because a lot of them are still available retail, so that way if you ever buy it secondhand, it's always going to be cheaper. Like, all of my like HHKBs and 660Cs and Real Force have costed me like 160 to 180 each, which I feel is a lot cheaper than spending 220 to 240 on them new. So, but you know, I'm the value hunter. Melodit is asking, after Dolch, which colorways would you like to see in DSS profile? Very interesting. So DSS, we haven't really seen or heard too much about that as far as I'm aware. I got to try it at the last Seattle meetup. It was very intriguing. For those of you that aren't aware, DSS is basically like DSA but sculpted. It is a relatively flat profile. It looks very similar to DSA, but it actually has like a fairly relevant sculpt to it, and I think that's pretty cool. So, what would we like to see in DSS? I don't know, man. Just
with a something kind of classical looking like that, like. Come on, someone, just give me a nice white on black, please.
Yeah, Yeah,
Please.
actually, that's something that really doesn't like see too much use in the community, unfortunately. Like, I should be able to buy GMK white on black or black on white like anytime I want. Like, retailers should stock that. Like, it's such a basic and fundamental colorway, and not just GMK either, but like, you know, JTK, SA, DSA. Like, I should be able to find white on black and black on white key sets super easily, affordably, whenever I want,
Well,
in whatever profile.
do I have news for you, Brian? You can get both of those in DCS with only 104 key compatibility. And I have emailed Melissa at Signature Plastics, and she's like, they don't sell well, so we're not planning to add the extra compatibility keys. And I'm like, okay. But there's JTK white on black, so.
Yeah, I would much rather have the GMK consistent legends, though, because if you buy a JTK set right now that is black and white or white on black, it's going to have the inconsistent legends because it's from either round 1 or round 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So a little unfortunate. Sorry, I'm trying to read through some of these questions.
Yeah.
Meow Meow and Meow, which I love that username, by the way, is asking something we kind of just covered: best Topper board. So once again, I think either the 55-gram Real Force stock or stock FC660C, I think, are the two front runners for best stock Topper board. Best Topper board in general, I don't know, man. After lubing, it's like all Topper is pretty good.
Yeah. For modding, it gets really preference based on your preferences, but for stock, Real Force, 55 grams in the white and beige color. I'm even specifying that color, white and beige, for the best stock Real Force, best stock Topra.
Chris Otiana is asking any projects that you're working on at the moment and care to talk about. Yeah, I mean, as Top Clack, we're kind of just always working on stuff. A quick list of what I have coming out in the near future. If you didn't see, actually, on topclack.com, I put up my stabilizer modification guide, living stabilizer modification guide, because I'm going to be updating it as needed and adding things. So that actually just got posted a week or two ago. I didn't really talk about it too much, but it's there if you go to the website. I have a very similar but more in-depth switch modification guide coming out in the near future. My new interview series, which is going to be a lot more in-depth. It's going to be a video, not live. It's going to be on YouTube. That's going to be starting soon. And what else do we have? Let me open our to-do list. How about that?
I haven't updated that in so long, but I have a long list of things I have in my head.
I look through the to-do list every now and then.
I updated it like a week ago, but I don't think it's not completely up to date with everything I have to do.
Okay, so a couple things we do have planned. Obviously, a Blocktorial review once we get them, hopefully. We want to do a couple different keyboard series, like basics and tutorials and that kind of stuff. So
educational stuff.
Yeah, a lot of educational stuff coming soon. That's like the main thing that's going on, because we really want to focus on kind of helping out all the people that are new to the community that don't know how to do a lot of the stuff that
we talk about.
Or a lot of you guys already know how to do, like on the back of your hand. Like, a lot of people don't know how to lube switches or stabs. They don't know how to solder. They don't know where to source parts of and what they should be using and what's compatible with what, etc. And that's something that we really want to target and like really hit hard. We want to be that place where people can go to when they're new to the hobby.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So a lot of very basic stuff is going to be coming out to help a lot of people like that.
I have quite a few things on my horizon as well, actually, for my projects for Top Clack. So a lot of you may have talked to me in chat and know I am working actually on a head-to-head review. It's going to be the 5 degree versus the Tina, because I have both boards. Both boards are kind of in the same budget range, and for a lot of people who are looking for like their first 6% they want to build, they might be looking between those two boards. And I have both those boards ready, and I decided let's do a showdown, like a straight up. There's going to be a winner. It's kind of obvious who the winner should be, but I'm still going to do a comprehensive 2-in-1 review of those. Which that episode's still going on. Which episode 8 is going to be thick clicks, Jades and Navies. Episode 9, I believe, is going to be Hako switches. So that's still working. I also have reviews coming up on the Chewy 60 I need to build. I have reviews coming up on the KBD pad I have right here, which the script is done. I also have another keycap profile review in the works as well. I just need to decide if I want to do the bad Dolch set first, the double shot PBT Dolch, or if I want to do the POM set I have. Those are all the projects on my plates, not counting things I have to build. And one minor project that Brian and I might do a head-to-head on, we haven't decided, we talked about it last night, which is sleeper builds.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later when we start actually like building it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be like an actual like fun series.
That'll be a little cute series we'll do.
Yeah. All right. Zombieman brings up that 2019 is the year of the pig. GMK Hormone. You know what I like. JTMC is asking, do I regret getting rid of my Pro 1? He's referring to my HHKB Pro 1. Yeah, that's one of the top, if not the top board I regret selling the most. That thing was amazing. And every now and then I hound Joris. I sold it to Joris, and every now and then I'm like, if you're gonna get rid of that, like, let me know. I'll buy it back from you. He's like, oh no, it's not leaving. It's still to this day the best Topra typing experience I've ever used was that particular HHKB Pro 1. I think it was from either 2003 or 2004. Felt amazing. Just lightly lubed. It was incredible. Tokyo Coffee Nerds saying also June 6th official HHKB meetup by PFU in Tokyo. That is really interesting.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see more details on that. Nero Winters asking thoughts on the QXP60. So I joined the group buy. I thought it was pretty nice and a pretty nice price, especially because it's shipping from the US also. So shipping is going to be cheaper. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Max5 is saying GMK white on black on originative is out after Honeywell. They confirmed with me that the GB pricing will be $145 approximately. Okay, that's not too bad.
I prefer to say like 110. Let's be real, but
yeah. I mean, it's hard when the exchange rate fluctuates too.
Yep.
But yeah. I mean, that $145 range seems about right. I'd like to see really simple sets like white on black and black on white for like closer to the 110, 120 range. But that's not always possible. No Chance RPG is asking, is there a performance or feel difference between plate mounted and board mounted stabilizers? Yes, absolutely. I mean, I guess performance or feel difference. Maybe not so much performance difference. I mean, they kind of effectively do the same thing, right? Like it's not really that different. Do they feel different? They feel a little different. So I mean, plate mount obviously they don't. At least I don't think they hit your PCB. So the bottom mount is usually quite a bit softer. Because it kind of just floats. In my experience, as far as I'm aware. I'm not really an expert on plate mount steps, so I don't tend to use those because usually you don't need to unless you're running a very, very specific keyboard.
Like 2-3U spacebars.
Yep. Flux Capacitor is asking, still don't own an Alps board and feel very uneducated. What's Alps all about? What's a good Alps switch and what's a good Alps board? That's a really loaded series of questions. In summary, I guess Alps are just older vintage switches. It's a series. It's multiple series of switches. Obviously, there's SKCM, there's SKCL, there's SK CC. There's lots of different Alps variants and switches. It's kind of just like how Cherry MX is these days. But a lot of Alp switches are very good. A lot of the ones that are kind of hard to find are pretty good, like SKCM browns, SKCM neon greens, SKCL browns, ambers, blues. There's so many Alp switches, man, and most of them are pretty good. Most of them, I think, are pretty good. I haven't really met many Alp switches that I was like, ew, that's gross, except for a lot of the newer ones, like Matthias switches. I don't think are that good. Taihao has some new, like, APC series Alp switches that I think are also really, really, really bad. But, like, all the ones that aren't being manufactured right now, the ones that were all discontinued, most of those are pretty darn good.
Here's what I'm going to say about Alps. A lot of people aren't going to like it, but unless you particularly care to get in Alps. Otherwise, if you're newer to the community, it's not worth getting into Alps. There are no new innovations into Alps. All there is in Alps is more people getting in, driving prices for anything else existing, because there's literally a limited amount left in the world. That's no more complicated Alps are ever being produced. The only people producing any kind of Alps variant are Matthias making simplified Alps with their linear, tactiles, and clickies, which are all meh at best. Yeah, Alps are very, very difficult because of that. That's one of my big issues. There's no new keycap sets really. The last, other than like Taihao making Alp sets mostly for Matthias boards, the last key set was the DCS Alpine Winter, run quite a few years ago.
Yeah, key set compatibility with Alps is like, not in comparison to MX. So unless you have a very particular layout that you're going for, or you're just okay with using a stock Alps board, which is cool too. But yeah, you're like, it's not like MX where you're just like, oh, let me buy this GMK set or SA set and put it on my Alps board. That's just not how it works, and it's very unfortunate.
Oh, I was wrong. Thank you, Cursor TN. There's also Light Cycle.
Oh, yes, that is true.
And the new redone Granite. But I mean, like, those are all DSA. Those are all bad.
Yeah, Alps is a really, really big topic, and those questions can have some long answers that you ask. So, I mean, maybe it's worth getting into another time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, anyways, we still have quite a few questions left. We're going to pew lightning round a little bit. So Mouse is Fine is asking, how do you feel about the frosted acrylic 5 degree? I think it looks better than the aluminum versions. And how do you feel about Gateron Black? I think it's a very adequate linear switch at a good price. Tokyo Coffee Nerd is saying, you need to make a Sleeper KB Paradise Vector Edition. I would like to not own another KB Paradise board in my life, please. Blue Note is asking, would you guys ever consider, on the weeks that you don't have a prominent guest, to have an enthusiast from the community, maybe just to talk about their experiences and show off their boards? Someone that is not a designer, but just a fan. That's a really good point. That could be
a thing. There could be possible hits and misses with that, but that's a thing that we could definitely consider in the future.
Yeah, I really like the idea of like a community spotlight, whether it be on the show or like a different series, like even just like a YouTube series or like a mini stream or something. That is something we're going to add to the list and think about and try to work out a way where we could do that and have it be good for everyone. But thank you for bringing that up. That's really good. Invisibility is saying, did you see the QXP factory update? Yes, I did. We got an email for it. Basically, a summed up version is there are some very minor, what I'm going to consider minor imperfections on the inside of the production units. Manufacturing marks, hook stuff, all the normal stuff that you see in a lot of boards, honestly. There were two options. There was one where you could definitely not pay any more money and say that you were totally okay with the marks and just leave it as is. And there's another option where you could potentially pay a little bit more for a more perfect specimen and have the factory fix that and stuff. I chose the one where I said I didn't care. because I would rather save money, and I don't care if there are very minor imperfections inside my keyboard case, because I don't see the inside of my keyboard case. And NGB is asking, what's the budget option for Honeywell Cherry Profile? Budget option for Honeywell and Cherry Profile? I don't think there is one.
None.
Yeah, you can get like a Max Keys SA Profile.
No.
And it's effectively like Honeywell. But yeah, I don't think there is one. That's the problem with GMK, man. You just gotta suck it up and buy GMK. Base DLX is asking, or at least saying, if you want linear Alps in easy supply at low prices, you can get SKCL yellows for real cheap, since there is a huge NOS supply. Yeah, that's an option if you're in the market for inexpensive Alps linear. Definitely.
Thanks, Sweaty Yeti, for all the bits, by the way.
Heck yeah, man. Appreciate that. Zeal PC doesn't say anything, but he links an Imager.
Yes, this is the Alps MX one he was talking about. He said they felt really mad, though. I remember we actually we talked about this a while ago.
Okay, yeah, I do remember this.
And then we never talked about it again.
Yeah, I have not very many thoughts on something that isn't readily available and that I've tried. But it's definitely worth pointing out that some people are trying to effectively make MX compatible Alps. There was another guy pretty recently too that was doing a group buy for very specific a new stem that you drop into your existing Alps.
The Nexus. But oof, poor guy.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like I said, that kind of shows you about, like, people are interested in the Alps community, but it's hard to actually get into it. When he ran that group buy for the Nexus sliders, okay, upon the week of payment, 1 week people to pay, 25% of orders did not pay.
That's a pretty big percentage.
1 in 4 people who said, yeah, I want to support Nexus sliders, drop in so I use my MX keycaps on Alps. A quarter of them said, you know what? Nah.
Yeah, man. That's
yeah.
Can't be doing that, man. Can't be doing that. Sorry, I'm just trying to turn off my autofocus real quick.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
It's been kind of messed with me. Wait, hold on.
It's because your lighting is so moody right now.
Yeah, I have like.
It's because of the mood lighting, my dude.
Yeah. Oh well. So it's almost over anyways. Let me just see if there are any final questions before we sign off here. Dead Encryption is saying, how about those God tier GMK sets coming out this year? Is GMK Space Cadet happening this year?
Hope so.
Me too. Your mic got really quiet all of a sudden, by the way.
I hope so.
There you go.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Nice. Meow Meow and Meow is saying, is low profile switches a good option for switches? It depends on what you're after.
Yep.
I think it's a good option to have for the community, but I mean for basic users like myself and probably most of you, I mean you don't really need low profile switches. Also, Chalps is in the works. No, I haven't heard much about Chalps in a very long time.
Chalps.
Yeah, we won't go into that.
Yes, second half of 2018. Ooh, gonna be saving my dollars for that.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, so actually we are caught up on questions, so now is a good time to head out.
Yeah, thanks everyone so much for joining us on another wonderful episode of Top Clack on the 10th of May. Yeah, links down below. Check out our YouTube channel if you haven't. We put out some new content recently. Check out our website if you haven't seen Brian's Stab Lab, which I highly recommend you all check out. Check out all of our awesome sponsors: Impa Club, Z Frontier, Novel Keys, Zeal PC. Check them all out. Without their help, this show wouldn't be possible, and without your help, thank you everyone who has subscribed today and everyone who's donated bits. Man, it's awesome. I hope you guys can join and be active in our Discord if you haven't had a chance to. We like to talk about keyboards. We like to talk about from a few other things like games and food. And food.
And anime stuff.
Yeah, well, that's a very specific corner that we sequester all those people to. Once again, thank you everyone so much for watching. We'll catch you every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Expect some build streams this weekend. I'll be doing at least 2. One tomorrow for sure, I'm pretty sure, and possibly one on Saturday. I have a lot of things to do. I don't think I can do it in one stream unless, like, for some reason people want me to torture myself with a 12-hour stream, which I don't think...
12-hour charity lubing stream incoming. I could totally do that. I have that much work to do.
Well, thank you everyone so much. Hope to see everyone next week. Peace.
Yep. Thanks, guys.